Paul, let's talk about what got you interested in practicing law.
Well, some would say that I didn't have much choice in
Okay.
that my grandfather, my great uncle, about four uncles, my father, my much older brother, and a slew of cousins
Mm-hmm.
practiced law before I went to law school.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not head that way initially. I became a social worker,
Mm-hmm.
working for children, basically.
Mm.
And I still sort of consider myself a glorified social worker, even though I've been
Right.
practicing law now for over 31 years.
Mm.
I sort of view myself more of a social worker than a litigator, even though I do
Yeah.
that.
Of course. Of course.
So you asked me why did I get into it?
Yeah.
I really figured out before long, pursuing psychology and social work, that I could accomplish more and do more impact, have more impact as a lawyer than a
And as a
therapist
social
or
worker.
a
Yeah.
social worker.
And you and I share that in common. I had that, I don't really know that it was an epiphany per se, but when I was at Austin P, and you went to Austin
I
P
did.
also.
Alma mater.
That's right. When I was at Austin P and I was in the social work program there, I was heading into the practicum, and I talked to my advisor there, and I was just saying, I'm like, I can't even, all I can do is lay out options. I can't even tell these folks what to do, and they want you to tell them what to do. And he said, well, that's not what social workers do. But what you might be interested in is going to law school, because that's exactly what lawyers do. And the only lawyer I'd ever had any real interaction with was, a divorce attorney. And I'm not going to mention his name, but he wasn't a very attentive or helpful divorce attorney. And so it got a real bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, it didn't really hook you in or draw you at that point in time.
Well, he actually scared me to death because he was non-responsive. He didn't show up to court prepared. He gave me bad advice, at a variety of junctures, just because he wasn't really invested, in the well-being, my well-being, I think, and nor the well-being of my son. And so, and he might look at it very differently, but that was the impression I walked away with. So I went on to law school. I got a scholarship, went to law school, and ended up at a large firm because I'd done well at law school. But I found it, kind of soul killing. And it was about that time when I first started working at the larger law firm that I'm at, Wendy, and you guys were doing the family law thing. And I ended up 2-3 years in, staying at home with Will, having Will, and coming in and helping y'all on some family law cases that were a little more complicated, had a little bit more volume.
Interestingly, one of them
Yeah.
had a Colorado connection.
That's
you'll
right.
recall.
That's right. But just pitching in on those cases, like bringing that expertise that I had at working large litigation cases and marshaling documents and more complex financials on a couple cases with y'all. And for me, it was sort of, it made a lot of sense. And so when I got a chance later on to kind of go back to practicing law after my kids were almost grown, then that's what I started doing family law when I could have done, other things. So,
Yeah, and with Brighter Day, you've really created quite a little environment of professionalism, a culture of family, everybody kind of treating each other as family, supporting each other, but also a high quality of, professionalism. I know I've put my foot in my mouth a couple of times. It didn't take long for folks to say, oh, no, Paul, we don't do it like that around here.